everybody. It's been so long. Like 11 months. Nearly a year since my last video. Well, actual video? I wouldn't count the short film I did earlier this year, back in June. I wouldn't count that as like a thing I did, but that was like one of the things I did. This is gonna be a very scuffed video, and it's probably gonna be like a pretty long one because there's a fair bit I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about. And I'm not really gonna. I have this habit of like being a perfectionist and sort of wanting to edit videos, and then because it's not perfect in my mind, I don't do it. I'm gonna do bare minimum edits of this, so I might be typing while I'm talking. Well, I'm not really, but I was just logging into my computer. Right now, it is Christmas Eve. It has just turned Christmas Eve, like 40 minutes ago. It might even be 1 a.m. right now. So, my last video, I think, the last thing I really put out was the Godzilla Wrath of the Hydra announcement trailer, which I think was on January 11th this year. And since then, there's just been a lot. And there's been a lot I've wanted to do on video and just show people stuff, but I've just kind of not been doing that. But I was kind of like throughout the year, I'm like, this is annoying, man, because I was in this. I got into the cycle of like just not doing content for so long. That just really only focused on making really Wrath of the Hydra. If you don't know what Godzilla Wrath of the Hydra is, it's an upcoming fan film that I am making, and it's obviously a figure film, and that should be coming. Well, I'll talk about that later. Actually, there's a fair bit I want to talk about. So yeah, there's just. I got into this habit of like just not making videos, and when I went to make videos, I just ended up not making them, as you know, because they didn't come out, and that I think just kind of messed things up. Hey, my guinea pigs are next to me. That kind of messed things up and just messed the flow of things just so much. To the point where there was no flaw. I've not really scripted this video. I think it's obvious. I think this is just kind of obvious that I'm doing it off a whim. But I tend to do that. I tend to make videos really just off a whim. So, first I just want to say, I'm going to start getting back to making content in 2025. 2025 will be my year. I'm going to do more videos, I'm going to do more varied content, I'm going to do some gaming stuff, just so I can fill out videos on the channel while I'm also focusing on other things like my films. Probably the first playthrough is going to be The Last of Us. I have just been really... It's my favourite game of all time, and I did do a sort of small playthrough, never finished it, a few years ago, and that was actually my first playthrough of the game, but I've actually played it a few times since, and just, like I said, it's my favourite game of all time, and I just really want to do a full playthrough on the channel where I'm just playing it and just enjoying the story, because The Last of Us as a whole, I think, has just helped me in so many ways, aside from, other stuff, but when it comes to like how I want to make stories, and how I want to write my characters, and how I want to also sort of style my films or my stories. At its core, this core ball, this ball, you get a globe, at its core, there's a big part of The Last of Us there that will always be inseparable from it, just because that has impacted me so much that, like, it just changed me. I wasn't basically, since playing The Last of Us, I feel like I've just improved a lot in how I tell my stories, and I think that's a really good thing. So yeah, The Last of Us will be something. There'll be some other stuff as well, maybe Doom. I don't want to play too many old games, but The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 are definitely two games that I want to play on the channel in full. So that will happen eventually, hopefully at the start of the year. Filming wise, there's Godzilla Wrath of the Hydra, and that is kind of the main thing. And I've actually been sort of, for a large part of this year, I didn't really focus much on it. And there was a point, I think mainly during the summer, where I wanted to work more on it than anything, but my mind was just elsewhere all the time. So it just, for a point, the story kind of felt abandoned. And then in September, I did small rewrites of certain parts of the story again, just to make sure everything flows a lot better than it did. And I do feel like it's a lot better than it already was. So there is that. But next year, I'm definitely going to be focusing on Wrath a lot more. That's the main thing. Above all, there might be some other cool projects coming. We'll see. But two other projects I'm going to talk about. 3, I guess. And this is hopefully for next year. Hopefully, or it's like it will come out, but just because of when. There's a King Kong film, King Kong vs Godzilla. I've talked about that a few times on the channel. And then also we have the Ghidorah film that was meant to come out last year. It didn't. That's just because, again, I kind of had this like, oh, it's not how I want it, and then it's kind of stopped me, and then I'm not going to talk about it much. I'm going to be very vague, but there is a dinosaur story I want to do. It's going to be short, and it's going to be kind of like, this is going to come out when I'm done filming Wrath, and it's just going to be kind of like my wind down from that film, because it's going to be short. It's like 12-15 minutes, and I already have a very, very, very solid idea of what exactly I want. And there is, well, you can't really see it because there's a chair. There is a cool dinosaur there. That's going to be another video I do. Top 10 figures of the year is something that or top 5, I guess, is something that I want to do. Just because I'm like, again, just so I can do more videos. But from now till whenever, I'm going to start getting back into the flow of making videos and just make more. What is my hair doing? It's only tied back because I really need a haircut. But yeah, just next year is going to be very packed. I mean, I know I did a lot of awesome stuff this year. My first actual short film, The Heist. Not my proudest work, but we were on a very, very, very tight schedule. Literally, we had under a week to do it all. But production was kind of a mess, and there's so much like just kind of like it was like a shotgun each time, just severely impacted, and just that production. Um, but I did that, and it was my first actual short, full on short film where I'm working with other crew members and actors. Um, and I want to do that as well for next year. I want to, do my own story where I'm not on, because that was also for college, but I want to do my own story where it's not for college, where it's my own thing. Um, I went, but yeah, another stuff. I went to Paris. I went to Disneyland Paris, so I went abroad for the first time. Um, what else? I got a tattoo. Um, Again, this is like you can see it properly. It's from The Last of Us 2. It's Ellie's tattoo. I thought, hey, this is a really fitting tattoo for me. I want it. And so I got the tattoo, and it wasn't as bad as. At first, I was like, I was a little bit like, maybe I'll be like. I thought to be a bit worried, but just not really. It was pretty fine. So yeah, that's sort of the main stuff. But for that, I want to talk about in this video. Just there's a lot I want to do. There's a lot I want to do for 2025. All of it is targets, not deadlines. If I can't make one, there's always 2026, and I understand that now. That's kind of a big issue I had when making Godzilla Dynasty, where I kind of wanted it out within the year because I was just setting deadlines, and then it didn't come out in the year. It came out 2023, which is weird. That's coming up to 2 years now. 2 years in like 4 months. But yeah, no. The mistakes that were made with Dynasty will not be made for like any future films. I learned a lot with that, and I'm learning a lot still. And I'll keep learning throughout. But I just know at least I'll be getting better and better with each thing I put out. Especially as I find my style. Just everything will sort of like slide in together like a puzzle. So yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot. What else is there? I suppose that's really it. I've not really said anything about my Transformers series, Transformers Matrix. That is still being worked on. I've just been going through the kind of writing process again, just making it better. But there is just there's like I was gonna say 13 episodes. There's like 12 episodes in season 1, or 10. No, sorry, 10. 12 episodes in season 2, and like 10 in season 3. And it's not like I'm writing all the scripts, but like there's still a lot of scripts I've got to write for season 1. But the entire story is planned out. There's an entire overview. I know what characters are going to be in it. So there is that, and hopefully that's going to be a lot of fun to film. I've just been wanting to sort of better my stop motion before I really tackle that. Otherwise, I'd have probably had something out right now, maybe in the form of a trailer. But the other thing is, it's just not my main priority. Wrath of the Hydra is, because it's a much bigger film than what Dynasty was. It's my biggest film I have ever made. The biggest film. It is probably going to be 3 times as big as Dynasty. I know it's saying a lot. There's just so much more in it, and it looks so much better already. So, you know, the final product is just going to blow Dynasty out of the water. And I think people will love it. I think people will love it. I'm pretty confident in that. I think people will love it. That might be ego speaking, but hey, I mean, better to have a bit of an ego than just to be kind of sell myself short all the time. And that's something I've sort of learned, you know, that I've got to not embarrass myself, but, you know, at least acknowledge that I'm good at some stuff. But yeah, so to wrap up, there is a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff coming next year. More videos are coming back, more gaming related content. Last of Us Part 1 will be the first playthrough I actually do, which would be hopefully the first full playthrough I've had on the game, or on a game, since Alien Isolation 5 years ago, which is a long time ago. I was even going to make a video on the announcement of Alien Isolation 2. Like, I remember seeing that and like, mind blown. Like, I saw that and it was just insane. I, like, oh, wow, 10-year anniversary, and then what? Like, you know, I opened Twitter and just that news was like, just, because Romulus was, I love that film. And a couple months later, you get Alien Isolation. Oh, wow, it's getting a sequel. And I get that just, you know, I gotta live to at least see Alien Isolation 2, how, you know, whenever that comes out. So hopefully in the next couple of years. But yeah, that's really it. Cool projects, cool gaming stuff, more videos coming back. Hopefully some more cool stuff. There's a fair bit I want to do. Oh, that's right. Last thing, figure reviews. I've been wanting to do some, especially since I got the Giganotosaurus. You know, and then there's this. I got this Ready Player One Mechagodzilla. I want to do a video on this. I'll probably do a video on the Giga first, but like, this thing is really cool. Yeah, you know, I gotta tighten the joints before I do a video on it, but seriously, this is really cool. Surprisingly heavy too, and scales well with higher Godzilla. And then I wanted to do a video on like the World of Godzilla Chaos, because I got a few recently. Some I did, well, most I did paint up. For example, this Hedorah doesn't look the best, but I did try my best. And this Mechagodzilla, which I actually think is really cool. And then there's a Gigan and there's some other stuff. So yeah, that is really it. I'm going to upload this before I genuinely forget. So thank you all for watching. I am back. I'm not dead. No need to worry. Videos returning soon.